warm welcome to you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of Good Morning SVG. Please be reminded, my name is Pearl Williams, and I'm here from Mondays to Fridays from 8 a.m. to 9. Let us please apologize for being away from our media for approximately 1 week. I had the flu, ladies and gentlemen, and I pray to God that none of the citizens of this country can contract this horrible flu. I lost my voice. Ladies and gentlemen, I was in real severe pain. You understand me? Thanks to my husband and a few people who told me, girl, you better drink this, you drink that and drink the other. I was able to come out of it. I had a contestant, Miss Cynthia Gibbs out of Barrowly, who also fell ill as a result of this flu. Now, I don't know if it's the heat, if it is the sun, I don't know what it is. But if it is, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, from time to time, sorry, I'm still coughing in between. So I could not be on our live, and I do hope that you understand. But we have so much to speak about, ladies and gentlemen, it is so much, all right? So let us first remind you that this program comes to you from Mondays to Fridays from 8 a.m. to 9. If you are trying to reach us at any given time, please do so through our telephone line 1784-495-2620. And you can also reach us through our email address, goodmorningsvg@gmail.com. Ladies and gentlemen, we are a bit late this morning. I'll tell you that a parent called me a few minutes ago in tears, ladies and gentlemen, and we are going to speak about that as well this morning. I could not find the consciousness to be here, and so this morning I'm a bit saddened, number one, and number two, by that phone call. All right, and it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. We have to pray in season and out of season to find the right season, and this is my quest, and this is my recommendation and suggestion to you this morning. It is just not easy. All right, it is not easy. And we ask God to intervene in every circumstances as we go through our life journey. All right. Now, we have to send out a strong message to the climate, the political climate that is out there. We have some politically retarded people who are out there just creating confusion, division, and destruction. We'd like to let you know and please remind you that after this election, we all have to live here as one. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Please do not rule out the situation that is developing in the Caribbean right now, where things are going to be very difficult. And this is when the reality hit us home, and we realize that the neighbor that you're not speaking to because she is a NDP, or the neighbor is a Labour and you're not speaking to her, very soon that you have to go to that neighbor either to use the toilet or to ask for something to eat, or to share your rice and your bread, or whatever that you have with the same neighbor. All right? Based on what is happening, ladies and gentlemen, we already have America in Trinidad and Tobago. We have China and those places already on the waters with Venezuela and the stuff. Now, let me say what can happen. All right? So we on the waters, ladies and gentlemen, we, are accustomed to our cargo ship going to Trinidad and Tobago, exchanging goods and products and services. And this can be, something that can affect us. And please don't rule out the situation because it's already happening. All right. Now we are going to have things that's scarce, rice, sugar, flour, and all these sort of things. We are not taking notes. We are so taken up with the fever of elections. And you have all right. Some people believe that they need a change, and some people believe that whatever that is going on, it needs to be done. I feel that way, and this is what it is. And let us remind you, ladies and gentlemen, we were told that there's 21 days or 12 days to get yourself registered. I had called we call it our community mayor. I spoke to Mr. Hannibal, Foster Hannibal, if that is his name. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, to ask him about the time in which the people who are not yet registered or your name is not on the voters list, that you please do so. All right. We saw the NDP, ladies and gentlemen, are sending strong messages to people who are not registered in the various community to go out and register. But this is not a paid announcement. We are asking all the Labour supporters, if your name is not on the voters list, you need to go out there and get yourself registered. All right? Now, we are saying there is no need, absolutely no need for us to fight, bust one another head, shout out and what's not. We heard the Prime Minister at the rally saying, don't just deal with them violently or whatever, deal with them on Facebook or whatever you have to deal with. Listen to me, right? I think the Prime Minister is a bit tired. I think that is what it is. I don't think as a mature leader will go out and tell people to declare war unless, things are out according to these people, blow out of proportion. Yeah? We saw some NDP people coming through the country, and we saw the Labour people on the side showing that they have no interest whatsoever in the NDP, and so that they are demonstrating their rights to do so. While you are doing that, we are saying to you, be extremely careful. Do not, get violent. We live in a very small community. It's not, I would not even call St. Vincent and Grenadines a country, but a community based on its size. We have to learn to give and take. We have to understand that at the end of the day, all that we are benefiting as a people, collectively and otherwise, and there is no need for the violence, all right? Now, you guys have to make sure that you understand the quest, you understand what is happening. I heard Mr. Shallow speaking about we no longer can allow a family to run this country. Now, whether or not this is the case, we are beginning to see and feel and taste the sense of modernization in this country. And we are very pleased, especially with the port, which was just open. And we are right now constructing the state-of-the-art hospital, ladies and gentlemen. All right? You guys find it necessary to talk about Storm Gonsalves and what's not. Storm was speaking to the people in a blue t-shirt. He was not even in red. And he was reminding the citizens that when the NDP formed government, we are saying when because they said they're winning, that the students in Taiwan have to pack up and come home. There would be no ties or diplomatic relations with Taiwan. And we have to listen. You understand me? Now, Mr. Friday said that he's going to give you guys $500 poor relief. The Ralph Gonsalves said $360 or something of the sort, right? We saw lately where even the Labour people took off the jersey and they jumped on the bandwagon. I'll say something to you. So my contestants were making public appearances at these functions, and we're talking about the Labour functions, giving our support because the Prime Minister over the years have been accommodating us at Parliament, to wish our women success at the show. So we felt the importance to extend the same courtesy by having the girls reach out and to also give support. That doesn't mean to say that when you see the girls that you have all these sarcastic remarks. I remember I hired a taxi to pick up Miss Barreling. I had called Mr. Brewster, right? And the gentleman said, if I know that Miss Williams was hiring my taxi to go out to any Labour stuff, she would have been on her own. Ladies and gentlemen, it is sad. That you will say this to our contestant. If you know that Miss Williams was sending the delegates to any of the Labour Party function, that Miss Williams would have been on her own, meaning that you would not transport the contestant to her destination. Ladies and gentlemen, we took a taxi. You understand me? $50 to $45 from Kingston to Calapua. You understand me? We had to pay that money to take my contestant out at Camelo's constituency so that she can get the transport, or she can obtain the transport heading out to the country. All right? And at that particular day, we were out at Hoffland Ranch. Please, if I'm pronouncing the word incorrectly, please correct me. All right? And so the lady, Mr. Nalo, thank you so much, Mr. Hannibal, for reaching out and collecting some of the girls to take them out. A matter of fact, I got the ride out with the contestants and so on out to Hoffland or Hoffles, or you guys tell me I am not a fond of the entertainment spot because I really don't socialize on that level, and so I'm unable to tell you where the correct name is and what is taking place and that sort of thing, right? And I believe that every woman need to, according to this, respect themselves respectfully. And so that is not one of the entertainment spot that I will gravitate to, so please excuse me. However, you must understand as an adult your position in society and in our country. You always have to think, you understand me, positively, and whatever remarks or whatever that you are doing, it is lesson, it is life changing, depending on what it is. So if an average young woman come to you, my manager, my agent, or whoever it is, had offered to pay the taxi to take a delegate to the country, and you say to her, young lady, this is not my cup of tea. I will take you, but don't do it again, because whatever it is, that is what it is. So we got to the point that the taxi driver is no longer taking you to a destination, even if you're paying your money to go to an event. You know, I ask myself sometimes, I heard a former principal made a mention that the people in St. Vincent and Grenadines is the most liar set of people in the entire Caribbean. And I was a bit embarrassed when she said that. But you know what happened? It's playing out itself. When you can see these big people, you understand me? You know, everybody tell a little lie now and again conveniently. But when you see these people pick up a lie as though it's a hobby, you must know something definitely wrong. And it is very wrong for you to go out there. All right? You have this young lady who just left school or leaves school, whether you would like to make it eloquent, yes or no. She's no longer in school. And would have taken an opportunity where she said that she was bullied in school, you know, to go out brave and let people know her size have nothing to do with life and itself and life acceptance and what's not, and go out there, and due to the transport, you are telling her that you don't support labor, and if he only knew that she was going to a labor function, she would have remained in town. Let me say to you guys, we have some mental challenged people in our society. I ask God, wherever that they are, that people could pinpoint and give these people counseling and training, because it is messing up our society. You need counseling. You understand me? Don't go out there all the time and put your discourse in a place that it doesn't look good, it doesn't sound good. You understand me? And I'll also say to all the supporters, whether you are NDP, you are Labour, you whatever you are, your PPP, your DRP, whatever you are, let us go with a clean, collective, peaceful election. All right? Now, I'll give you another experience, ladies and gentlemen. If you are joining us for the first time, you are viewing Good Morning SVG. I am your host, Pearl Williams, and we are based in St. Vincent and Grenadines. If you would like to be a part of our discussions, please do so through our comment and other aspect of joining the live, and we are going to accommodate you. All right? Now, in this quest for governance, we also look at the practical aspect of what is happening. And when I say practical, now, I would be out of place, totally out of place to, you know, pinpoint certain things that you have no confirmation on. But I would remind you, we cannot have a bunch of old men who retire and looking at new innovation to bring modernization in this country. You know? And this is what it is. I was really pleasantly surprised when I heard our Prime Minister said, Mr. Fitz Bramble is now 64 years old and have never constructed a house or have gotten married with no responsibility. Remember, this man says he's an economist, right? And an economist is a very smart person. They know exactly the book. Same book. Yeah, read the book. Yes. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I was a little distracted. Yes. And an economist is a very smart person. They know exactly how to economize, ladies and gentlemen. Whether or not that the facility was given to Mr. Bramble, yes or no? Yes. We always have to remember the discipline of spending, saving, and what's not, right? You need to know a little accounts. Yeah, thanks. You need to know a little accounts. You need to know how to invest. What sort of return that we're looking at. Look up the word in an economist, right? You are living outside of St. Vincent for a period of time, and at one point, you know, You are looking at home as though it's a holiday destination and not quite your home. You understand me? Me, I would like to be convinced in some way or the other where you can tell me, Pearl, I think what you're doing is wrong and you need to be right, because me, I still listen to my elders. Yeah? It is part of my life. We still listen to our elders, and sometimes we end up in positive situations listening to our elders. All right? And so I can't believe that Mr. What's his name? Mr. Bramble, that is based in Sion Hill, can have any professional conversation with me. I mean, I speak to all the NDP people. Yeah? I saw Miss Lavone in Republic Bank. I said hi. And not because of politics that we can't say hi to each other. You understand me? That's my thing, because I believe at the end of the day, right? No Labour post, no NDP, if I fall in a ditch, somebody have to pick me up, And so we have to give according to these people, give the mannerism straight across the board, right? Like everybody saying, Friday and Ralph sit down drinking a glass of champagne while you guys outside arguing. It doesn't make sense. All right? And this is only political differences. This is what it is. And you guys are tied up with all of this ghetto politics, all sort of different things. I mean, the world is looking at us. Some of you on social media, I heard some guy named Venom. Is that his name? Venom or whatever it is. Who are speaking about police brutality and openly speaking about, if all you come for me, are telling all you, Ralph, talk to your boys, and we say, oh my God, this is what we come to. The world is looking at us. Huh? This is what we come to. We used to say that St. Vincent is the land of the blessed. When last we look at the blessings? Huh? We saw some lady called Celeste who spoke, and she's a prophet. And she said last year, September, even into August, what is going to happen to us in the Caribbean. And we are seeing everything that woman spoke about. It is happening, especially Jamaica, especially Trinidad, where they talk about human trafficking, drugs, prostitution, and all of this. That she is seeing a tsunami and she's seeing this and that. Everybody laugh. You understand me? They laughed just like when they laughed for Noah and the ark. Everybody found it funny and was laughing. Now we say to you, this is the last days, ladies and gentlemen, whether you like it, yes or no, biblically. And you guys have to take warning. Today we give voice and tomorrow we are cut off. All right? And I'm totally against the behavior of our citizens in this political climate. All right? Now, I'll give you my version. So I am standing, ladies and gentlemen, at the Tokyo, Little Tokyo. For some of you guys who are looking in from different countries, Little Tokyo is a place where all the vehicles and all of that, where you obtain your transportation going from A to B from our capital. All right? And so I'm standing there, ladies and gentlemen. I had a conversation with one person while we were standing, and one of the Hyroon bottle passed straight, not in front of me, but in the back of me. And I'm standing to the front, right? There's this woman in Tokyo with her hair plait in braids, ladies and gentlemen. It's the color of the NDP colors on her hair that is plait. Now, this hair is straight down to this lady's butt, right? And in a short pants. I guess it's either Thursday or Friday. And every mother this in the road, ladies and gentlemen, in front of PH Vera and Little Tokyo. Every mother this, and where they mother that, and so on. And somebody, I think is a Labour person, swing one bottle, according to the people and them, and the lady mother this year, according to that's what they call it. And the bottle pass, the little hole in the bottle that you hear, woo, the bottle passed to the back of me. Right? I am in tongue, ladies and gentlemen, haven't yet confronted anybody. I said openly. In the past, I said I am not getting involved in any politics. I am not NDP, I'm not Labour. But you know what changed my mind? Is when I saw this government back the shirt and send to school poor people children. I take off my shirt, I say, yes, I'm back in Labour. None of you could change that. You understand me? To see where poor people children are, but you cannot even get 2 pieces of bake and put piece of saltfish with that. I was not say you're cooking up some cabbage and something with it to give your children for school. Some of them pass lunchtime and they don't even know when lunchtime pass. They are house feeding in the school, ladies and gentlemen. The government went out of the way and got uniforms for the children and have a book loan scheme so that the average child who cannot purchase new books can go to the schools and get used books. That is what changed me. That is when I got politically involved, ladies and gentlemen. I need to tell you this is what it is, because you don't spit out something and then eat your vomit. That was the invitation that I got to join in with the Labour Party. Yeah? This is what it is. When I saw the teachers are sitting in school with the average child that cannot read and write properly. Let's just take my eyes. Sorry about that. Right? It made me understand the quest, you understand me, for extra mile teaching in this country. Ensuring that the child leave out of the school understanding and what's not. So yes, we have some children who's out in the system. According to these people, old people say that some of the children and the teachers are not qualified teachers and are teaching in the school. Are teaching in the school. They too want teaching, learning, and they're teaching the children the skills of vowels and statements and adjectives and verbs and nouns. They don't know it. How can they teach the children that's something that they don't know? And so those are some of the things that people are highlighting. Nevertheless, all right, the effort of ensuring that the average child gets some level of education is quite commendable. And so we have to sometimes wheel out. You understand? We can always improve on the situation. While they go, we improve on a situation. And so the effort is what according to these people, what counts. Whether or not you have the education, yes or no. The efforts is what counts. And ladies and gentlemen, I would say this to you. It is sad. While I'm sitting here, you wouldn't see the tears, but it is falling inside. To learn that even at the schools that we have political division. The parents is sending the children to fight the Labour, the NDP child in the school this morning. We've had a complaint. My little granddaughter was given a t-shirt, an NDP t-shirt, on Friday. And because NDP was delivering and sharing out t-shirts, and my little granddaughter took an NDP t-shirt. Now my entire house, don't even talk about from my entire house, we are all Labour supporters. So my little granddaughter took the t-shirt. She said, "Mommy," that's what she called me. The people was giving out t-shirts. It doesn't necessarily mean she cannot vote. She's only 16 years old and took the t-shirt, right? And on Friday at the bus stop, waved the t-shirt and said, "All you come in." Yes, "All you come in. NDP now." Whatever the song is, NDP now. This morning when she left the school, you understand me, a young woman dealt with her in the bus. Chuck her off and want to fight her. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to be very serious. I saw Tukul, who went to defend himself when somebody came up to him and started blasting bottle. Up to now, I believe that somebody sent him to blast the bottle. That vagrant did not pelt the bottle just like that somebody sent him. Right? And this is what the situation is. But I will still say that Tukul, you're wrong. In a situation like this where you observe the man that is mentally challenged, even if you had a licensed gun, I would have pelted 2 shots up in the air to scare the man. Knowing that he's helpless, that he doesn't have anywhere to go, he's on the street, I would have done that. Pelt 2 shots up in the air to scare that man. Yeah? But you didn't shoot him once, you didn't shoot him twice, but you shoot him 3 times. I hope you understand me. We can, go out and let the law take its course. You understand me? Because we must understand at the end of the day, we are all human beings. I wouldn't like this to happen to my children, my son. I am not celebrating or anything. But to say collectively what goes around. comes around. You hear me? This is what it is. I remember it was a pleasure for people to assassinate others' character and believe that when people say the prayers, ladies and gentlemen, as much as you think that prayers doesn't mean anything, you understand me? The season that comes with it, are you ready for it? Whether or not you are being paid as a disc jockey or a DJ or whatever it is, the circumstances are beyond our control. You always try to find out on the both sides what is taking place and be very fair in your judgment. You see, when you start to ridicule people without a cause and you feel big and you beat your chest and go on because you know you create a storm, you this and that, right? The people start hyping you up because you believe what you're doing is right. You never thought for one moment that God said that he will turn around that key. You understand me? And I am just making a reference, ladies and gentlemen. It is not our topic. All right? So let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Please be reminded that you can engage in our conversation through our comment box, that you can send us your comments. All right? How can I rule out Trinidad and Tobago this morning, my country of birth? Good morning to you guys, and good morning especially to San Fernando, deep south, my home. Good morning to all the folks, the decision makers and so on. Good morning to you. All right. Your girl is here and I'll continue to be here as long as God says, yes, that I am going to be here. You know, we created this platform for some people to think, you understand me, to think wisely. We brought, you know, the motivation forward. We brought the advertisement forward, and we brought, you know, the systematic approach to certain things. And we also said that we are going to highlight the odds and ignorance. All right. So this is what our objectives are. It's our vision, and we are not here to ridicule and bring down anybody. All right. So this morning, before this program began, I said to you initially that I was distracted a bit with some tears coming from a parent. Now, this lady lives in Provenzeville. Her daughter is the contestant that is sponsored by Lotto. Her name is Miss Charisma Charles, if that is her name. And, you know, during that devastating storm, her mother works at Barefoot Charters. And during that storm, and let me first begin with how I met these ladies. So, a young lady reached out to me and said that this said person, her daughter was entering a little pageant in Bayaboo. And somebody says, go to Miss Williams and let her try to help this child, which I did. You know, I say to people all the time, anybody child is safe, or children, they're all safe in my hands. You understand me? I took the initiative when I got the invitation to assist this child. And I did so. I went, I got all my stuff. I didn't ask anybody for sponsor. I used my resources because, you know, as a mass woman, you always have a piece of fabric. You always have some decoration some way, you know, based on the estimate that you would have had in the past. So I did that. I supported the child. I sponsored the child with her stuff and everything and went out there. And this is how I met the mother. And we became friends by, you know, communicating and that sort of thing. And I yet don't know this woman to details to say that we are good friends for years, but we are colleagues, you know, speakings back and forth. And this is the woman who called me this morning and said, Miss Williams, you know, before I could answer, I heard the tears, I felt the pain, and I sat down. I could not just hang up the phone and say how you make your bed is so you lie on it, right? As women in this country, we always have to look at our sister, our mothers, our auntie, you know, in whatever respectful situation that they are moving. And when we say respectful, you know, or whatever, should I use that word respectful? Yeah? In whatever respective or in whatever element that we are coming out, that we use certain mechanism, you understand me, to eradicate all the odds, you understand me, that is before us. And this morning I was in a conversation where I was saying, if you are in a situation to take your emotion away from whatever it is, you understand me, is the best place you can be when you take away your emotions. Make sure that you're mentally stable, you know, that you're mentally stable and deal with a situation. Now, this lady said that she's living in some place, I believe it's a hardware, or somewhere. Since Beryl Storm, she does not have whatever that she has working at the Barefoot Charter. It cannot sustain the needs. You know, her daughter is in school and was not, so she has 3 daughters, as far as I understand. 1 or 2 are attending one is attending secondary school. The next one is a contestant for Miss SVG and a little baby, which is about 5-6 years old. And the lady expressed her frustration this morning in tears. Now, I am saying that the average person that is next door to you, will understand your shortcomings. They would understand that you are going through. Some people celebrate your downfall. They celebrate your struggles. They celebrate, the way that you cannot move. They try to block every corner of your progress and sit down and look at you and laugh. We say always, and I say to this woman, today for me, tomorrow for you. Because when you can go out of your way, ladies and gentlemen, to make others uncomfortable and unhappy, and then you knock your cup and your glass and say, yes, let the bitch take that. Don't feel that your day not coming. You hear me? Don't for one minute, according to these people, what didn't take you will take your children, your first and second generation. And we talk and say, well, she don't shut your damn mouth. You understand me? But it is happening. You understand me? The moment you go out there and see a woman in need and you start to laugh, say, I wonder who them they playing, let you take that. You understand me? Without giving any assistance, ladies and gentlemen. When last we think about the word humanity. Yeah? Humanity. When last? There was an incident recently where I applied for something. And that request, the application was never acknowledged. And so I went in a personal capacity now to see if the way that it's supposed to be done, the protocol that it's supposed to be done, I have done that. It did not work for me. And to know that we know these people in according to these people, in a personal capacity, I thought it would have changed. So I went to that channel. And I emphasized that I know this person for a very long time and was expecting some common courtesy at least to be extended to me, and it was not given to me. You understand me? It's all about punishment. You understand me? For whatever. It's either you're too knowledgeable, you're too bright, who you feel you are, you're not from here, whatever the reasons are. You understand me? It is a punishment. And these people believe that when they make things difficult for you, you understand me, that you cannot move forward. But you look at them and smile, because the demon that is driving them, that is a demon will destroy them. You understand me? And I want to say to this woman this morning, in any way possible that I can assist, I will put my hand in that ring to assist. I have done so for many years. And I believe if I was a born Vincentian in this country, not even Ralph could have beat me in any of the constituencies. Yeah, because I am a people's person that always extending assistance, whether I know you yes or no. Right? Always giving people love, and was not the kind of gossip we carry by the Prime Minister office, don't bother with Miss Williams, don't do this and that, Up to now, the PM have never spoken to me in details as to the lies that came to him, You understand me? Because the day that I do, he will be very disappointed. You understand me? Stop going with the lies. I will say this to you, ladies and gentlemen. I had a taxi for 3 days. This is the second time in this country to take my contestants out. I was given a bill for $1,900. Right? The gentleman is a gentleman that worked for Paul Yami. You understand me? Driving a white vehicle. And so I told him, I did not born to the back of my mother. My mother had a safe delivery, right? In all her consciousness. And she was a married woman. Yeah? So your girl is not looking for, according to these people, I am not looking for validation to know who I am. Right? I was born in a union that was blessed. That's number one. And the delivery that I had was very safe. No shit was not on me. So don't bring that kind of bullshit to me, please. And this is what I said to him. I don't care where you take it. You could take it to the PM. You could take it to the Governor General. You could take it where the hell you want to take it. There is no court in Kingston that can rule to tell me in 3 days I have to pay $1,900 to no taxi. No court in Kingston. You hear me? And when you guys go with your Nancy story, you need to speak properly so that the Prime Minister, who's an educated man in this country, could understand what you are saying. Stop the melee, the bacchanal, and the lies and the deceits. You hear me? If you guys are looking for friendship, you want camaraderie, you want a favor done, ask for what you want. Do not go out there and use innocent people's names, you understand me, to make a statement. It's not nice. There were so many instances that things that I saw, I made it aware by sending it to Mr. Camilo Gonzalez. Asking him if he aware of this, are you aware of that, or whatever the case may be. I've done so because, you know, sometimes we are in our offices. There are certain things that are happening. We don't know why it's happening, where it's coming from. So an idea to, according to these people, to stamp out the ignorance. You send the awareness, you know. And this is what it is. And if he read them, he will say to you, yes, Miss Williams, send this to me. However, I did not respond. He will say that to you. Yeah? It is very important. Yeah? As citizens in this country, you understand, we always have to be our brother keeper because it's very important. There are times when we, according to these people, we disagree to agree, you know, and we have a serious epidemic where people are suffering from bad jealousy. And there is no precaution that you can use to dismiss this out of our mindset. You understand me? When we go out of our way, we cannot do it. You cannot do it, so I mustn't do it. That is the attitude. As long as I can do it, how the hell you could come and do it? You know what? You have to be on the same level with me. That is the attitude, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know when this will ever discontinue, right? Because we already start to claim it and speak about our culture. Now, what is our culture? Fabrication? What it is? And so, ladies, this morning, I am sympathizing with a young woman with 3 children. Her house roof blew off, ladies and gentlemen. The house is not livable. And we are asking you, if you are in the Provenville area, you understand me, to ask, how can I help? How can I help? Some of the overseas people who close up their houses and they're not in St. Vincent, you understand me? Can you arrange for somebody to be in your premises and let them take care and manage your place in your absence, please and thank you. We have so many abandoned houses, you know, that needs windows and what's not. We need certain things that we can use legally until further notice. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We've had our Prime Minister who had some 5 or 6 or 900 houses in the Grenadines that is taken care of. All right? We still have some people in shelters. What are we doing? You understand me? We have people in Canada, you know, Africa, all over the world. And that is very fortunate. Is it taking anything out of you to spend $5 per day on any given circumstances? Not that we did not have, you know, and we did not have the assistant, but we can do it some more. Right? I would like very much to either put on an event, ladies and gentlemen, you know, and try to see how much we can assist this lady. That this morning, you understand me, that you have your monthly cycle. And cannot you buy a pack of pad, you understand me, to protect yourself for work. This is not nice. Ladies and gentlemen, let us get up and practice humanity because we're all born with it. Right? Stop laughing at your neighbor in her struggles, in a time of need, in a devastation, in a downfall. When are we going to stop this? Right? It is always a joke for somebody. You understand me? We cannot offer assistance. We cannot offer help. You understand me? Whatever name we would like to call it, we cannot offer it. You know, let the bitch suffer. That's what all of us say. Let her suffer. What goes around comes around. It comes out of our mouth. God have mercy on the tongue that we have in our mouth. Right? I had my fair share in this house. Ladies and gentlemen, I make my family to know I am not going in any ghetto. If that is where the bloodline is, it's not mine. And therefore, I will not, you understand me, associate at that level. So you know what? It's either you step up or you step out. It's simple as that. And those are the barriers that we need to break. You understand me? Those are the things that we have to be very, 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 according to these people, not instrumental, but we have to be very vocal. Yes? Making the right choices, the right decisions. Yeah? And so on and so forth. Yeah? It is sad. I am saddened. I could have started this program on time this morning when I had to give heirs, even the dull and the ignorance. They too have their story. Right? And we always have to listen. Always. I have gotten some invitation to go to Lumsden Street, Gasparillo to run for elections back in my hometown, ladies and gentlemen. And I made a promise to my father that I will not get in politics. My sister ran for local government as a councillor. Her name was Anne Batiste, back in San Fernando, if you guys can recall, under the PNM. Yeah? And we do have some very, very bright relatives. You understand me? Bright and wealthy. And when I say wealthy, I'm speaking wealthy. Yeah? On my father's side of the family, you know, I saw my two cousins last night singing at the Gospel Fest in Rabuka last night, the Edwards, the sisters singing. Are you aware that is my immediate cousins? Immediate. You know? And so we have to be very careful. Absolutely careful. Right? Because according to these people, we build our empire today, and tomorrow we have to die and leave it. Yeah? We are so taken up with the worldly stuff that we forget about the word humanity, to give something, give. You understand me? In a situation. So I would say to you, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a house that you're no longer living in, ladies and gentlemen, to extend courtesy. The people didn't go there to own your property. They just need to catch themselves. Please give some assistance. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe I've come to the end of this morning's program. We have quite a lot to discuss this morning. And for the week that we have some guests on our program, let us remind you that Everglow from Dominica won the pageant. We said that this is our girl. We'd like to extend congratulations to Miss Everglow for the Heritage Festival Queen that she won. And this is the lady that we've had on the program, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up this week, we'll talk to her about the victory of that pageant back in Dominica. And let us send greetings to Mr. Skerrett and his beautiful family that I saw. I'd like to say good morning to you, sir. You know, I've had an opportunity years ago to meet with Mr. Skerrett at his office, a very outstanding gentleman in Dominica. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, as we say so long, let us remind you that our school children are currently on the streets, and we ask our motorists to be extremely careful on the roads, and also to remind you our senior citizens is off here and there. Make sure that you offer assistance to them. All right? Now, our police officers are also on the street. Let us try to be, you know, law-abiding citizens, and let us make sure that our police officers, all right, that they are conducting their duties legally and lawfully. All right? Let us say so long, ladies and gentlemen, until 8 o'clock. I send you peace and be safe, you know, make wise choices, and let us have a peaceful election in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. All right? Bye, ladies and gentlemen. See you at 8 o'clock. Bye.